Hello and welcome to the Rectory. We have some really interesting and exciting news for you, and this involves introducing you to some of our newest additions here at the River Rectory. Now, before I get into it, let's give you a bit of a background story. So here we have 5 acres, mostly ancient woodland. Some of it's not actually registered as ancient woodland, but a large percentage of it is. But over the years, it has gradually been changed. It was a designed landscape as part of the original glebe here. So it was planted out with non-native species such as horse chestnut and beech. Now, what that has actually done is that's damaged our native aspect of the woodland. So it should have been an ash oak woodland, with kind of like an understory of sort of light brambles, hawthorn, and other sort of small tree species, and lots of flora and fauna. Because of the dense beech canopy and also the horse chestnut too, it's actually changed it into almost like an alien woodland, where instead of having that lovely layer of flora and fauna, we have like this thick mat of ivy that's basically everywhere, and also lots and lots of holly too. Now, holly is kind of a good tree. You know, it's very good for sustainability, and it's going to be used as a fodder crop. But you know, in terms of trying to restore this woodland to what it was, you know, we want to see less of that beech. We want to see less of the holly, and we want to see more diversity in the species that are growing, and also we want to see that flora and fauna layer completely restored and see a lot more species coming through. Now, we do have some bluebells, which is nice, but unfortunately again somebody has let Spanish bluebells into the woodland, and they outcompete our native bluebells. So there's quite a lot that needs to be done. And it's probably not really the task for just one person or even a family of people. We actually need to employ some helpers. So we have bought ourselves some helpers, and they are going to be helping us by rooting through the beech nuts and eating them, opening up the rhododendron in areas where we can't really get access to it because it's too overgrown. And they're also going to be eating seeds and seedlings and sort of making the place just a lot more open and better, and preparing the ground really for planting new trees, and also helping the natural regeneration of our native species. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our new helpers. Here they are. Now, these ladies are our new pigs, and we have this black one here. She is a Berkshire called Betty. Beside her, we have 2 Oxford Sandy and Black Gilts. They're all girls, thankfully. And we have Pumpkin here and her sister Pickles. Betty is 14 weeks old, and these 2 sisters here, Pumpkin and Pickles, they are 9 weeks old. Now, unfortunately, Pickles, when we got her, she's had a lump on her belly, and we took her to the vet yesterday, and we thought originally that it was possibly just an abscess, but actually it's a hernia. And the vet has told us that she's going to need surgery, or else she will not live for very long. But the other side of that too is very often piglets don't recover from anaesthetic, so she's scheduled to go in there tomorrow, and we're really hoping and praying that the surgery is successful and she recovers, and that she can come home and have a long and happy life here at the rectory. So for now, they're penned up because we want them to get really tame, and then Pickles is going to need recovery time too, believing and trusting that she's going to come home. So right now we're teaching them how to bucket feed, and then we are going to section off the woodlands and let them out and see what they can do for our natural regeneration. You can't eat my phone. But they're very friendly. Let's see if I just come in over here. Get a better view now. See, you're following me around already, aren't you, girls? How am I supposed to get good footage of you if you keep running about like that and sitting so close to me? Well, so we're just going to give Pickles, this is Pickles here, she's lovely. And we're going to give Pickles as much love as we can before she goes for her surgery. And this is her sister. And we hope that we have 3 pigs by the end of the week. But it's the right thing to do, you know? Hello, darlings. You're going to give us some grunts and piggy noises? See, they're already getting really great at following. Aren't you, girls? And it's hard to believe that they're only 9 weeks old, this size. So they already come running straight over the door and want to greet us, even though they've only been here 2 days. It hasn't taken them long to get to know us. Now we have other plans for these pigs, and that is to incorporate them into our food growing. As you know, if you've been following what we do, we have an oat patch in the orchard where we usually plough, do a little bit of cultivating, and hand seed our oats. I'm trying to get away from using fertilizer. Now we use seaweed fertilizer, but it's quite expensive. I want to get away too from ploughing. So we also have another problem there, which is bindweed. Now last year we did use a bit of Roundup for the bindweed, and it just didn't work. It didn't make any difference. So our plan is to use these 3 gilts to effectively use them as our plough and our weeders. So in autumn, after we harvest our oats, we are going to put them down there and let them eat all the kind of leftover oats, and then dig up the ground and get rid of the bindweed, and also turn over the soil. So in springtime, when we get them out of there, we can just do a wee bit of a light rake, maybe a little bit of light cultivation, and have the place ready for planting then, and see what this kind of produces for us in terms of getting away from having to use herbicides and getting away from having to plough. So it'll be interesting. It's a bit of an experiment, but I've seen a lot of people online have had a lot of success doing this. Now I am right now in the first section of Woodland where we're going to be putting the pigs, and it's very necessary. We have been working on our fences. This section, once it's fully fenced, is going to be about 1/10 of an acre, which is apparently the recommended amount you want at a time for pigs. Any more than that, and you end up with them just sort of picking at one area and not really moving about. Any less than that, and you end up with too much being eaten. That's the idea. That's the plan. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to hopefully have some fun. So, hopefully at the end of the week we shall still have 3 pigs, and in a week or so we'll be able to let them out into the woods to eat their hearts out and get to work as our little 4-legged conservationists. What I love about the idea of keeping the pigs is it's restoring an aspect of God's creation. You see, God created pigs, and they have predominantly lived in woodlands, but they've also gone, the native species of pig in Ireland have gone extinct. We're effectively reintroducing a species to an ecosystem in order to regain the effect that they had on that ecosystem. And it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, and hopefully with some good management we'll get it right. It might take a little bit of learning, it might take a little bit of trial and error, but I'm pretty confident that these guys are going to be the answer to a lot of our problems. So anyway, I hope this has been informative. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll keep posting you updates on our piggies and their activities. Bye!